What's up guys? Welcome to this video, welcome to this channel. Here we play games and make art. So welcome to this little color study that I'm doing today. This is a new experiment for me. I will be coloring in a different style than I usually do. So the subject matter today is Penny from The Magicians. If you haven't seen that TV show, it's awesome. I love it. It's like an adult Harry Potter. So go check it out. I particularly chose this little screenshot when I saw this episode last week because of how the light hits his face. I find it really interesting. So I definitely wanted to experiment with that and try and replicate it in art. So right now I'm just quickly doing a line sketch of Penny, nothing too serious. I'm not really focusing on making him look as realistic as possible, just a little bit of a cartoon, anime, semi-realism styled Penny. So because obviously the goal for today is to do a color study and not realistic line work. So yeah, and this is a completely new way for me to draw or to color. I don't actually color like this ever. I just tend to use the brush tool and go crazy. So I'm just exploring, and it's always good to explore when you are an artist, find what works, what doesn't work, maybe discover something completely new which you love. So yeah, I'm almost done with the line work here. And if you're wondering why my lines are as smooth as it is, it's because I have the smoothing on to 29%. It really helps if you have super jittery hands and you would like to make or produce smooth line work without having to go and erase super rough lines and going through all of that trouble. This works. Okay, so I think, yeah, now we are at our base colors. The skin, the hair and the shirt are all on separate layers, and now I've made a clipping mask layer, or a clipping layer, I don't remember the name of it. So this helps me to color in specifically only on the skin layer, so nothing will go onto the background or the hair or the clothes. So I'm just exploring words, just exploring the highlights right now. Instead of going as white as the reference photo, I decided to do something a bit more warm, more sunny. So using the lasso tool, I select certain areas which I would like to color. You can just on the top left there's like this little squares. You just choose the two squares, which is a multiply selection basically. So you can select multiple areas with the lasso tool at once, and then you can just color it in with a brush tool. I used a soft round, I think, and the opacity was not as high, not like 100, I think maybe like 50 or something, I don't remember now. So yeah, right now I'm really just exploring. I haven't really done coloring like this at all, so this is completely new for me, and I remember feeling like this felt weird, or it looked weird, and I was uncomfortable with it. But I mean, as I continued on, it started to look like an artwork eventually. And that's the thing with art. If you start with it, it usually tends to look very weird in the beginning, but honestly, just continue on. Continue layering, try different things, different colors. Eventually it will start looking like something. Excuse me. So right now I'm just also trying to select different areas where the sun will hit, kind of just making it up, but also using the reference, which is a very good tip. Try to always use a reference photo for lighting, coloring. You can obviously, if you'd like to, go do everything from imagination or memory. Art, it's art, man. You can do anything you'd like to do with art. But if you'd like to go generally realistic, a reference image is a good option. So right now I am on a different layer. So this layer is underneath the highlight layer. So anything that I color now will go underneath that light yellowish color and will not go over it or interrupt it. So that's good to know if you get frustrated about your darker colors going over your lighter colors. Just remember to do layering and to organize your layers in the correct position, and then you will be fine. Yeah, so I think here I add my actual shadows and the previous shadows didn't really work for me. Whew, I'm a bit out of breath. I was just in the gym, so I decided to do a video right now after the gym. It's very smart, I know. Okay, so now that I have those generalized shadows down, I am selecting areas that will be darker. So again, using the reference, I select different areas that will have a much darker shadow. And always remember shadows, if you want to give it a 3D look and you're having trouble with that, maybe add something darker or a super highlighted highlight and it should tend to give you a 3D look. And to always remember shadows and highlights must be opposite each other to give it a 3D effect. So here we have highlights, and I just added, okay, sorry, pardon the interruption. I was busy, well, I was told to go do some dishes. Anyway, so I darkened the base skin layer to obviously match with the image, because I did see Penny has a much darker skin than my original base color. So now I'm back again doing some revision with the highlights, adding some colors, and for now I'm going to add an extra color. I think it's called Harmonious Shadows, I think. No, it's not Harmonious. What is this? I had it a while ago, now I forgot the name again. Anyway, so it's basically the color, the shadows bouncing off all of the colors, so I added blue in there. I thought that the blue would look amazing with his brown skin, and in contrast, all as a complementary color in contrast to the yellowish. So now I am selecting the areas of his beard. Again, the opacity is rather low. Instead of having a blob of black on his face, this just blends in better with the skin. And yeah, again, it's underneath the yellowish highlight. And now I think, yes, I'm doing the eyebrows, going in for details. And instead of using the lasso tool here, I decided to just quickly use the normal brush tool, something that I think I'm using that now to add extra little colors, little highlights, little shadows. For some reason I decided to do this with a brush. I think my old habits came in there instead of using the lasso tool. Yeah, highlighting that a bit lighter, give it blend it in with the brush tool. And again, like I said, I tend to come back and then go away and come back to highlights and go away, and as the image progresses you see some things and you think, oh wait, I think you need to add some highlights there, some shadows there, and it's just how you basically revision the art. You look at it, you adjust, like I'm doing right here, right now. Yeah, I'm just lightening the beard a little bit, because it's very close to the lighter part of the image where the light is coming from. I'm blending in with the soft brush to the beard just to make it look a bit more natural instead of just this weird shape on his face. Again, using the brush tool, I thought using that for the eyebrows would give it a more natural look instead of using the lasso tool. And yeah, same with the eyes, using the brush tool just to quickly add that in. Also, always the whites of the eyes will most probably not actually be white. It depends on the shadows and the lights, and usually it ends up being a grayish or a bluish, sometimes even a green or a pink or a grey. Yeah, I did say grey tint in there. So always remember, never make that like actually white. You can add white in small areas for highlights. And here I'm adding highlights again, the yellow for that side and the blue for the left side, just to emphasize the coloring. Now obviously you need to add the shadows into the whites as well, just to give it a 3D effect, as well as highlights. It's always important. Okay, yeah, and I'm finishing off with the eyes now. Okay, and it's done. Not very detailed, but it's good enough for now, just for the color study. And always blending in with the soft brush. So if you ever have trouble blending, instead of using the actual smudge tool, you can just use the soft round, and with a lighter opacity you can try to blend in the colors and give it a more realistic look, if that's what you're going for. And here we are, the lips. Not really focusing too much on details there. Usually I would spend a lot of time on the mouth, but now I was just having fun and playing around. Adding darkness again. I'm going over to the highlights, very close to the end, instead of doing it in the beginning. But it's how you see the art coming together, and then you decide, okay, that's where some light is needed and all that. Okay, so moving on to the clothes. Again, I am on a different layer, the clothes layer. I add a clipping mask, and now I'm just adding in the highlights for this as well. Yeah, seeing as the light is hitting obviously his face in an orange color, the clothes will also be affected with an orange highlighted color. And I also did notice that I added the shadows on the same layer as the highlights for some reason. I think I just forgot to add an actual new layer for shadows, but it's fine, it worked out. Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And here we go to the last step again. Own layer, own clipping mask, to make sure that nothing else will be affected by the coloring. And you can just focus on the hair, using the lasso tool to add in some details in the hair, some shadows, a bit darker, give it that 3D hair look. And finally we are going to just add some highlights in the tippy tops of the hair, not too light, but light enough to give it that effect of the sun shining on it. Okay, well, this is awesome. I mean, it came out fine. I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a wonderful day. Bye.